Do you guys want to move on to something that I cooked up?
Yeah, let's hear bro cook.
So basically, like we all have, I mean, maybe we all don't have it, but I think that anybody who has a friend in their life that is just like really crafty with like Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji, it's just like kind of nice because sometimes you're like, oh, like I've had friends, sometimes like help me sell things because they were better at selling that thing than me. And I'm going to segue into there's sort of like just a general issue, universally with pretty much everybody, like whether you make $500,000 a year or $15,000 a year, you probably have a bunch of random stuff just lying around your house that you don't use. And with some people, it's like maybe we're talking about like 4-digit numbers, in terms of dollars, how much, of these things that are lying around that they could go sell on Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist because they're not using it at all. So that I sort of connected that idea to an ad that I saw for a service. Is like it's an app called Duke.com. Wait, I actually think I could probably share the screen so you can see it. So basically, it's an app that just takes a picture. Like you take a picture of an item or give it a link, and then it just finds a copy from like AliExpress or something for way cheaper that you can order in if you're willing to wait longer. And they make money by doing it's all affiliate links. So yeah, they're using creative that is basically just people using the app, and it's kind of just like one of those inherently viral things that seems to be working pretty well on Instagram in particular for them. So what this basically could be is this app where you take a picture of random items that you own. Like you could just take a picture of, say, just to put it all on your floor and take a photo of it, and then through probably a Zapier call that you could maybe run through like OpenAI, some other API that's out there that just makes a spreadsheet of the item, its estimated value, and then maybe a cropped photo of it. And then that's kind of your MVP right there. Like you could literally just give people a spreadsheet and just say like, hey, do you ever wonder the value of everything you own? And then just say like, yeah, just take a picture with this. And then like, you could just build that to sort of test traction just to see if people are like, I guess, comfortable doing that, because obviously there are certain things to address about like privacy with it. But, if let's say like it's going well and you want that to go further, then you have the opportunity of giving a little, you could put just on this dashboard that you've given them of just this registry of the value of everything they own, just say, sell it. And if you sell it, now you're getting prompted into a whole new layer of the app, or could even be a website, where it also probably using Zapier and ChatGPT calls, just generating the copy to put the listings out for these things on different platforms. And then I don't know, like Ryan, I'm bringing this up because you could probably answer if this is even feasible. But I think that the real money is in it if you can have this tool also the items for the user,
Yeah,
and then
this tool is
have it there
I've already built this for
and qualify the buyers, and then and then just send back over to the seller a Calendly link with basically some options that that person gave on the time that they could sell the thing, and then say, hey, if you're interested in selling that item, we have a buyer that will come to you at this time. Payment processing and all of that, like where the money comes from is taking like a decently high commission, like probably something like 30%, or probably something along the lines of like what eBay or like Uber somebody would be doing. Just give it the option. Just after you've given people the information about, hey, this is what that item is worth, and if you're ever interested in selling it, all you have to do is press a button, and then like odds are, depending on like how much traffic volume there is in your neighborhood, like in Toronto, like Facebook Marketplace thrives in this city, obviously, because it's very dense. So it wouldn't work everywhere. But in Toronto, like when you list something, if you list it on all three platforms and you're like responsive and you stay on top, you could sell anything on these websites. And it doesn't really take anything. You just have to qualify the buyer by, if they're interested, maybe leave some room for bargaining, but have thresholds, obviously. And both parties are motivated to get the highest possible pricing. So I think it would be a super valuable source of income for some people that like, maybe like the story I was telling you before about like when I was just experiencing financial troubles because a bunch of clients weren't paying me at the same time. Sometimes in scenarios like that, it could really help people to be like, oh, wow, like I could go on this app and like maybe we'll start seeing, maybe I can start selling off some things in a couple weeks. But also like even the non-desperate user of just like somebody who makes like $500,000 a year and they probably have like 6 Canada Goose jackets like hung up somewhere, and they're just like, oh yeah, like I have like tens of thousands of dollars of belongings that I have lying around my house that I don't use. And I mean, a lot of them probably end up like giving it to friends and fortunate family members and stuff like that. But to also offer those people like, hey, like, do you want like an extra couple grand this month, like just to be sent to you? All that you have to do is just like click this button, and then an appointment will eventually be set to sell it. I think there's a huge value offer there. You don't have to have a huge amount of upfront capital to sort of get this thing going. But yeah, Ryan, I would love to hear you just like respond to that one.
Client already.
Really?
Yeah, so I had a client in the liquidation business where basically he has all this product, and basically in the liquidation business, they make money by flipping the product fast. They don't actually care about how much profit they make. Does it make sense? Like they can flip for 5%, and they flip it in one day. That shelf space is open for another product. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So what we built for them was we built the product where basically they would upload all these different products. We will find the price on Amazon, right? So we know how much it costs, and then basically we would distribute on different channels. It's like, okay, do you want to sell it on What's Not? You want to sell on eBay? You want to sell it in your own store? And this basically based on sales history, we'll know where can you sell it the fastest, and then we'll tell it where, and you click a button and it will publish it to eBay or whatnot, whatever. So we built up someone.
Okay.
So I've done that before. My thing is that this type of business, what we call is like a two-sided marketplace, which means you have, in most businesses, you have one customer basically, right? I am the business, you're the customer, you pay me and I will deliver you the service. Those business is simplest, these headaches. The worst business is what you're saying of like, you have buyers and sellers and you're trying to connect them because there's a lot of problems that go into managing this, right? And generally speaking, all marketplaces, like what you're saying, they always lose money for the first 2 years until they hit a certain cap of like, okay, we have this much users, and it's optimal exchange, and we can make that slight 1% profit margin. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Even if you charge 30%, it's not really 30%. So there's some stuff that you might not think of. For example, the payment gateway will take 3% from you. Whatever you're charging, right? So that 30% now is like 47%, right? Then you would have to, for the Facebook Marketplace API, I don't know what the rules are. Maybe they charge you a fee as well, right? So then there's more fees there. And then verifying buyers and sellers is a very painful process. People are very unpredictable and complicated. And then, so you need a vetting team to vet. So you need employees to vet people now, right? And then you have people who would try to scam the system where like, I didn't get the product. I want a refund. And I don't know if you know about SaaS companies. If the company receives more than 1% refund on your account, they'll shut down your payment gateway. So can you imagine your whole business is contingent on all these people, all these actors performing their part and not causing issues. So it's a very painful project. The technology side would need to be more advanced. So there would be some upfront costs for that. For the marketing, like you said, maybe it might be easier, but yeah, it's not.
As a professional marketing ideas guy, I got a slight tweak to get this like bootstrapped and actually differentiate from like a Facebook Marketplace option, or like if you were to just like even donate things to a Goodwill or Value Village. So this is what I would do. I would probably, I'm going to come from the app perspective at first. So I would probably design the app to almost look like a Wealth Simple or like Robinhood kind of investment app, along with like all your personal net worth holdings of like all these items. And then I would just like
Yes.
make just like the items text and like the values as the emphasis instead of like the pictures, because like a lot of times I'm just like so lost in a Facebook marketplace or like just like overwhelmed with options of like all of these imagery of these things, or like even lost at a store.
Yeah.
So if I just have like a search of like items and then just like see these like price fluctuations around almost like oh yeah, I'm just hitting buy and sell on like a trading app variance. So like that's how I would design this UI. How I would bootstrap this entire service at first is literally have an option to say, we will just like get rid of your stuff. Come to your house with a truck and then get rid of your stuff from your doorway. If you just like don't want your stuff anymore. Just to get the marketplace started, because then I would have like a warehouse from like a cheap location and then just like ship all these free stuff instead of like having all these free stuff going on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. I would own all the local free stuff in this like localized area inside a warehouse. And then if people want to buy all these stuff, I would just like take a few photos. But like on the platform, it's still not emphasized which photos. It's still going to be like all about the text, like nice metallic designer chair or something for like $200. If people want to buy that chair from me, from my warehouse that I got for free, logistically, like I'll just like ship it to them as I'm not wasting money on like shipping. So like that's probably how I would first start.
Yeah, so there's not two sides. You're the business. You're basically an e-commerce store that takes free stuff and then you give back some of the profits to them, right? That would make more sense, like because it's simple.
Exactly.
Yeah. Josh, any new thoughts on your idea after like you got
That sort of reminded me of one of those like side hustles is couch restoration businesses where like just hey, buy a truck and then buy couches for like $20 and then restore them and then sell them for like $300 to $700 again. So like there's some guys that like do this in Toronto that like they're just called like the couch guys. And I think like they're restoring these things and selling them. I've actually looked at their website and some of their couches are like closer to like $1,000. So it's really the type of thing that sort of like a 1-man, 2-man thing, like you can actually make a decent income off of, because like if you're doing like 4 or 5 couches a day, it can just be like someone's full hustle. But the opportunity is just looking for ways that you could automate the buying process with AI, the buying and the selling process, honestly, and just having that as just an internal service that company is using just to fuel its profit engine, which is really they flip couches and 10x to like 15x margins on couches that most of the time they're probably just cleaning and then like that's it, just making sure it doesn't like squeak. I don't know.
If I'm adding like the flipping portion, I might as well just like hire a video person to actually just create these video content, because that kind of content is also viral on YouTube. But like a large majority of the viewers, they don't actually flip couches. They just like watching the content of the process of that couch being flipped. And then a lot of these content creators, they share their costs and their margins, like what they're reselling these for. So like I feel like if you just like get a following, that can just be like for that startup, you can literally transparently just show the process. You might not even need to share your margins, but like just share the process of like how you're doing it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like it's the type of thing that could fuel sort of a smaller operation.